Aaron wants, Aaron is going to get. They are doing everything more than ever before to make him happy. They had all this time to make him feel better. They had all this offseason, Bart Scott, to say, you know what, Aaron, we made a mistake. We completely screwed up from that standpoint. No, it took Brian Gutekunst, the Packers general manager, to say Aaron Rodgers wanted Randall Cobb back, and they only brought him in so Aaron Rodgers can stay happy.
When I was a kid and I used to pout and I used to be crying, my sisters used to sing that Prince song, that Cry Baby. Put you to the test. Cry baby, when it come, crying you the best.
Come on now.
I mean, this dude cried because he wanted Randall Cobb. It's like when your child is crying and all he wants is like a Skittle. Mm-hmm. And it's just enough to shut him up. You don't mind giving him a Skittle. Like, whatever, it's a Skittle.
Yeah.
I mean.
You're calling Randall Cobb a Skittle?
Yeah, he's a Skittle, man. He's a little micro mini pimp.
Really? That's what we're doing?
That's what it costs? Like, all this Aaron Rodgers was for Randall Cobb?
It's the principle. According to Aaron Rodgers, Bart, it's the principle of the thing.
Listen, I hate Aaron Rodgers, the general manager, man. Like,
sure, I don't think players.
Yeah, it was a 6th-round draft pick to give up for Randall Cobb, but come on, son. Odell Beckham's out there. Go get OBJ. He's in the last year of his contract. They don't want him in Cleveland. I know it looks like they want him. They don't really want him. They stuck with him because he got injured. You could have got OBJ. You would have been much better in trying to win a championship on your last dance.
It's his last dance. I hear what you're saying, Bart, but here's the deal. If you're Aaron Rodgers, you knew you finally had a chance to use your stroke and use your electricity against an organization. And you're right. Is it crying? Is it going overboard? Sure. This is a guy that last year, if he made a couple of plays in the second half, we're not talking about the Green Bay Packers falling short of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's been able to lead this team to the NFC Championship in back-to-back years. But when you can't stand people above your pay grade, above your title grade, and you believe this is your way to get back at them, because we know he can't stand Brian Gutekunst, the general manager. He can't stand Mark Murphy, the president. By the way, Packers, kudos to you. They didn't allow Mark Murphy to speak at that press conference. That may be the smartest thing they've done all offseason, not letting that guy speak. But sometimes it's not about the 6th-round pick. Sometimes it's not about the Skittle. It's all about the principle. And that's where Aaron Rodgers is right now, Bart, because he doesn't care about the money, but he doesn't care about Brian Gutekunst, and he doesn't care about Mark Murphy. And he's going to let him know by this way, saying, you know what, you want to make me feel better? Bring back one of my boys. Bring back one of the guys to help put the band back together.
I get it. I get it. Just like Brady said, give me Gronk. Like, hold on, we got OJ the Juice Man and Cameron Brate. No, I think Gronk makes me feel better.
You know the game.
Yeah, but still, I think he should. I mean, I don't know if Randall Cobb is what put them over the top. And it was a move out there to put them over the top. And I thought OBJ would have been a move that could have put them over the top. And that's where he would have been able to talk about his connections, his ability to recruit. If he could have got OBJ to start being the squeaky wheel there and saying, hey, you know what, come be with me. You're going to have the best season of your career. They want to run the ball over there. You come over here, we'll put up historic numbers, maybe the best numbers that you've had since you were a member of the Giants, and that's going to help you in free agency. But you know what? He decided to go with Randall Cobb. He wanted to go down with his boy Blue. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But what better way to go out than with a Super Bowl and dropping it right off into the sunset like Shane?
Bart Scott, that's him. Freddie Coleman, that's me, and Keyshawn, Jabel, and Zubin on ESPN Radio and also ESPN News. We talk about in terms of we know that this is, to your point, the last dance for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Next year, he is determined that he's going to be somewhere else. And I get this to the Green Bay Packers like, fine, just move on.
Yeah.
But now, who's going to be loading up to go after Aaron Rodgers? And Jeff Darlington, ESPN NFL reporter, was on Get Up on June 23rd. And he talked about there's one team out there that could be in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes because they did not get a guy before because Drew Brees was there. And that team is the New Orleans Saints.
I think that people still underestimate how close Tom Brady was to signing with the New Orleans Saints up until he ultimately decided on the Bucs. I know that that's going to be a statement that people try to question. It's the truth. And here's the deal. Sean Payton cannot look back and say, man, I would have loved to have Tom Brady last year, because it would also meant that I'd have him for a few more years moving forward. No question in my mind, the Saints, despite understanding they did what they had to do, there is a little bit of, let's call it regret, that Tom Brady is not their quarterback.
Now, full disclosure, they were not going to move away from Drew Brees for Tom Brady. They were not going to do that from that standpoint. But if Drew Brees had not come back last year, who's to say that Tom Brady would not have been a New Orleans Saints? If you're a team like the Saints, you're keeping an eye on Aaron Rodgers because you're wondering if Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, whoever wins that quarterback battle, if you don't have that kind of belief in that guy, you're going to put yourself in the middle of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes when this last dance is over in 2021.
No, absolutely. I mean, you think about, Sean Payton. You think about Aaron Rodgers pairing together. I mean, it would be the best quarterback that Sean Payton has ever had. And that's saying a lot because we're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer in Drew Brees. But it's things that Aaron Rodgers can do that Drew Brees, quite frankly, could never imagine doing. I mean, you can say that about Tom Brady. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented football players to ever spin the pigskin, right? And, for him to go anywhere, he's going to give that team and that organization new life and give them opportunity to be a Super Bowl champion. But I think the obvious choice is because we don't believe in Winston and we know they risky no biscuit. He can't do it out there, and he's hungry for wins, and he's sucking his fingers and all that stuff. And we don't know about Michael Thomas. So I don't know, if Michael Thomas is long for the Saints too. It seems like this relationship is headed for an ending as well. Now, if he can say, hey, you can get out of the Michael Thomas, sweepstakes. I can bring Devontae Adams over here with me. Maybe we can trade again for Randall Cobb, and I can have something. We'll be ready to go.
Back to the Skittle conversation.
But to me, that defense and that window is closing. So I'm looking like, what would be a perfect place for a guy like Aaron Rodgers?
All right.
A guy that's been in a market that's a little small, but historic, one of the most proud organizations with a lot of championships. I don't know about Lombardies, but a lot of championships.
Okay.
And I start spinning my head, and I'm saying, man, and it's like that. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Bam! I smacked that thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers. What if Aaron is able to replace Ben Roethlisberger with those young weapons that they have, Johnson, Claypool, right? And then you put it with a defense that is going to be good to great for the next 5 to 10 years. Man, the defense is always good. We always talk about, they lose Troy Polamalu. They just get up and they get Mika Fitzpatrick. Yeah. Oh, they lose Joey Porter. They just go with James Harrison. Oh, they lose James Harrison. Now they got T.J. Watt. It don't matter. They just know how to
lose Bud Dupree. They'll have somebody else.
It don't matter, right? And I can see Aaron in that type of place with Mike Tomlin. They'll be two of the coolest cats on the sideline ever.
Okay, I'll give you another one based on that line of thinking. Great defense, terrific head coach, some weapons. And as a Cowboys fan, I hate to say this, Washington football team.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, now I know he's a stopgap guy. He can be Fitz-tragic and Fitz-magic.
Yeah.
You're going to get both with that guy. There's no doubt about that. But if Aaron Rodgers is out there, and Ron Rivera, what he was able to do with Cam Newton, and Rodgers is much better than Cam Newton. No disrespect to Cam Newton. It's just what it is. A guy like that with Chase Young and a bunch of those bros on defense along your Pittsburgh Steelers line, and that Washington team is younger on defense and the weapons around them and a better offensive line than Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a great point. One thing we do know we can agree upon is that, listen, the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes is starting to begin. Who's to say that the Dolphins or a team like Philadelphia, if they're not able to get anybody with their 2 first-round draft picks next year, 3 in terms of the